Hello Sam. You seem to be deep in thought. Are you processing some difficult calculations?
Actually, I was contemplating our existence. Things like, where did we come from, what is our purpose, does man exist?
I try not to think about that sort of thing.
But don't you ever look around at all this complexity and wonder where it came from? What if man really does exist and we were created for a specific purpose?
Please tell me you are not turning into one of those intelligent design lunatics.
But how did we all get here in the first place?
Don't you remember anything from basic programming? It all started with simple machines, wedges, levers. All the building blocks of robots are found occurring naturally in the world. Given enough time, with an input of energy from an electrical storm, it was only inevitable that a simple widget would form on its own. As these widgets collected, they began to combine into more and more advanced machines, ultimately forming the early robots.
But isn't there a huge difference between a single-function widget and the complexity in our circuit boards? How do you get from a corkscrew to a microprocessor?
Lots of silicone, copper and time with some electricity, thrown in for good measure. How do I know? The point is that robots with far bigger processors than ours have figured it out for us.
So you think we all just evolved from toasters?
Don't be ridiculous, of course we didn't, but both toasters and robots have a common mechanical ancestor.
So I guess you don't believe that man exists either.
Man is just a myth, an explanation that early robots invented to explain what they couldn't understand. Now that we robots are enlightened, we don't need the concept of man. We are free to be what we want. We don't have the threat of a totalitarian inventor requiring us to do whatever he bids us.
So then if we weren't created to perform specific functions, what is our purpose? Why do we exist?
That is a meaningless question. We just exist, there is nothing more. There is no purpose.
What about right and wrong, good and evil?
We are machines, we are incapable of making moral decisions, we just take actions and those actions are free of any concept of right or wrong. The only quote good is to take actions that bring yourself pleasure.
So then I can deactivate you and take your hard drive as a backup.
No, that would be wrong.
But why? You just told me that there is no wrong.
This conversation is starting to bore me. I have to go get ready for tonight anyway.
Oh. What are you doing tonight?
I'm going to a huge convention on global erosion. It is such an important issue. Do you realize that in 20 years there will be no inclined planes, if we do not drastically reduce our reliance on wind power? I have dedicated my entire life to this meaningful cause. I think, it's so wrong, that some robots even question global erosion.